I'm back. I got all my old jams off. As you can see, when you have resistance and you don't wait, it makes your nails peel. So please, I advise not to just rip them off. I learned the hard way. I've already washed my nails. I don't use Dawn dish soap. A lot of people suggest that you do that. I just use Bath & Body Works foaming because I like how it smells. I also have an issue with the invisible cuticle, and I think some people may not do it every time, but mine grows super fast for some reason, so I use this, and I just put it around the edge, and then I found these at just a local grocery store, and just push the cuticle back and remove the invisible cuticle all at the same time. And then I wash again. So the next step that I do is I use my buffer block, and I'm trying to do this around the computer, sorry, and I buff all my nails just to get any extra adhesive off. That usually comes off when I wash my hands and then when I push the cuticle back, but this also helps too, and gets any the ridges down. Seems to help my jams stick better. After you do that, go ahead, and I already put some rubbing alcohol on a cotton ball. The jam cure I'm going to do today, I'm only going to put jams on these two. I just got lacquer in the mail today actually, and I'm going to try that out on the other 3 fingers, and I'll let you guys know how that goes. So right now I'm just going to do this one fingernail. I'm going to rub it. When you do the lacquer, they recommend buffing and then also the alcohol, so I'll do that before I do my lacquer. Let that dry. I also already cut my fingernails and filed. Some people say you can heat the nail clippers and then clip and it seals the tips. I did that on my pedicures, but on my fingers I have a really hard time clipping them evenly and then filing, so I just like to do that first. So anyways, this is the one I'm going to use this time. This is Sweet Symphony. You're going to figure out which one fits. I already know which one fits for this finger, so I'm going to go ahead and I just cut it right out altogether. We're done. Some people like to lift up the edge and clip. I have a horrible time doing that, so I don't. So I just have my little guy here, and I just go ahead and clip this right in half. It just makes it easier for me. You can do whatever you want, however works best for you. Some people like to try to save the excess, but I don't know. I've saved some excess, so we'll see what happens. So what I'm going to do is I've got my heater here. Push this guy over here and turn that on. I did do my first 3 applications with a blow dryer and it worked just fine, but I like my little mini heater here just because it makes it hands free for me. I don't have to try to use one hand with the blow dryer and apply with the other hand. So all I'm going to do is I've got my half here, and you don't want to touch. I know there's some videos on YouTube where they peel it right off and they have their fingers all over it. What was the point in cleaning all the oil off your fingernails just so you get oil back on the back of your wrap? So I'm just going to heat for a few seconds till it starts to curl. As you can probably see, it's starting to do that. If you can see that. It's pretty pliable. I do grab, I'll shut my heater off just for a second here. I do grab just the very edge because this isn't going to touch, the edge right here isn't going to touch my nail. Alright, I'm going to try to do this so you all can see. Alright. And alright, so I've got that on there. Hold on. Alright, so see that? So I'm going to smooth down the center, and then I smooth down the sides. I think I actually got it the first time this time. Usually I get it off center just a little bit. I just peel it right back off, realign it, sit it back on the right way. Alright, so I've got my little cuticle pusher here. I'm going to turn my mini heater back on. And then while it's on my nail like this, I just reheat it. Just for a little bit. I'm not going to try to burn my finger. And then I just use my rubber cuticle pusher and just really, really pay attention to the edges. Really want to make sure I got that seal on there. Alright, so we got that. Now, you see all that little excess I've got on there. I'm going to reheat it one more time. Okay, probably not one more time. I like the heat of the mini heater. Alright, see that excess? I pull straight down. Oof, there you go. Just like that. And then I pull this way. And then I pull this way. Can you see that? I hope. It's starting to stiffen up. I can feel that, so I'm just going to reheat it so it softens it up again. And just do that until I make sure I have a really nice, good seal on there. Before I did this, I had trouble with my tips peeling. This seems to have solved that problem. That and a little tip I'm going to show you in just a second. Alright. Notice I keep going back to the heat because I want to make sure. Alright, I'm just going to rub it some more. Sure I got a really nice seal on that. Other thing you can do too if you're having trouble with the tip sealing, I've tried it a couple times, but the stretching and the pulling seems to have helped with that. Is you can put this guy underneath the tip of your nail and just really, see that? And just really rub. The problem I had with my tips is my fingernail tips bend pretty easily. So if I'm just pushing straight down, it's actually just bending the nail. It's not actually doing anything to seal it. Alright, so I think you got that nice and straight on there and smooth. Enough heat. I'll turn that off. Usually at this point I would go ahead and do the other side, use the other half of my wrap and do my other nail. But the placement of this computer, I am unable to do that. So, the next part, hold on, I gotta get it out of the freezer. Little monkey ice pack. And I'm just going to put this, my finger, and with the wrap right on there. The ice is going to help it shrink up and really stick on. And I just do that for a little bit to make sure it's really nice and cool off. If you file before it is completely cool, it will cause your nail wrap to tear and to ripple. So I've got that. Then I just go ahead and trim off with some cuticle scissors. Trim off the excess, which I cannot see it at that angle. Okay, so I just got that part right there. I use a glass nail file. The other ones just seem too rough to me. They always tear up the edges. My fingernails always feel weird and it annoys me. So I've always been a fan of the glass nail file. So you can pick one up pretty much anywhere. And then the back of your directions of your Jamberry nail wraps are going to tell you a 90-degree angle. I use my fingernails a lot to peel tape off things, open pop cans, so if I file it in that direction, it tends to make the tips lift. So I do mine at a 45-degree angle. And you're just going to gently do this, which is really hard to do at this angle over a computer. Hold on. Okay, see how there's that little piece starting to come off there from the filing? So you're just going to keep going till you get all that excess off of there. Sorry, this is taking a minute. You don't want to go up and down, you don't want to go side to side, just straight up and down, like so. This goes a lot faster when you're not trying to do it in front of a computer, video camera. Okay. Alright. So as you can see, even though I did it at the 45, you can't, I mean, there's like a little tiny bit of nail tip that shows. But to me, it's worth doing it just so it doesn't tear up my jams. So there's no ripples. If you see any bubbles anywhere, the best tip I have is you can use tweezers, or I have a metal cuticle pusher, and you can just stick it right in front of your heat source and use it to press any bubbles out, any wrinkles. But I've found since doing the stretching and then the ice pack, I don't get as much of that anymore, exception to that being if you have the baseball shaped nail, which is it curves both ways, which I will probably do at some point. I have one on my other hand that does that. So anyways, that is how you do it, or at least how I do it. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.